This video is supported by all of these awesome brands that help keep the channel going. Big thanks to all of them for their continued support. And of course, a special thanks to spraygunner.com. They've got everything you need for painting, from top-of-the-line airbrushes to high-quality paint brands. Hey everyone, it's Nico and welcome back to the channel. I know this video is a little bit overdue, but today I'm finally sharing my haul from my Singapore trip last June. I picked up a couple of things while I was there and I figured it'd be fun to show you what I got. And since we're talking about hauls, I also just received my very first package from Hobby Link Japan. In all my years of building Gunpla, I've actually never ordered from them until now. So I'll unbox this first before we jump into the Singapore haul. So like I said, this is my first ever package from Hobby Link Japan. The main thing I got is the MGSD Aerial Gundam. When I found out they were releasing this MGSD, I figured the fastest way to get it was to pre-order directly from HLJ. And this is actually my first MGSD too, so I'm really curious about the build. Anyways, there's no particular reason why I haven't ordered from them before, from HLJ. I've just been fine with waiting for kits to arrive at my local shops, and I didn't really want to pay a lot for shipping, but this time I gave it a try and the process was really smooth. Shipping was still kind of expensive. I paid about 22 bucks, but it's fine, it's whatever. Aside from the kit, I also picked up a flat bottom cutter bit. That's a tool you can use to create a rounded notch, either as a design element or as a place for metal parts to sit in. I also got a hole enlarging bit, which is useful for making female pegs bigger for easier disassembly. I haven't had the chance to try either of these tools yet since this package arrived right in the middle of my GBWC grind, but I'm excited to put them to use soon. Moving on, let's start with the free stuff you get from Tetsugen. For those that don't know, I actually went to Singapore to join and cover the Tetsugen event. Every participant gets a glass file depending on their category. Since I joined the advanced category, I got that version. You also get this aircraft bag tag, which is really well made. I actually really like it. Now, if you win any of the awards, you also get a full set of the glass files. But you don't actually have to win to get one, since they're also for sale at the event, so anyone can grab the full set if they want to. Now let's move on to the stuff that I actually bought. If you haven't seen my Singapore hobby shop tours, I leave the links down below so you can check those out. So first, I got this hand reamer from Wave. If I'm not mistaken, I picked this up from Hobby Point. Basically, it's for when you need to make a bigger hole, like if you're kit bashing or you need to fit a larger peg or something. Drill bits can only get you so far, usually up to around 1.5mm, and after that it gets pretty tough to twist by hand. But with this tool, it's super handy for kit bashers, customizers, or even diorama work. Next, I picked up some spare blades for the Wave Universal Cutter, also from Hobby Point. I actually bought the Universal Cutter back when I went to Japan, and it's been super useful for cutting flat plates. So when I saw the spare blades, I figured I'd grab a pack just to have on hand because it's always good to stock up since I do a lot of flat plate work nowadays. And then I grabbed a pack of 3M sanding sponges. I got these from HobbyMate at their stall during the Tetsugen event. Unfortunately, their physical shop was closed at the time since they were busy with Tetsugen, so I wasn't able to tour it. But at the event, they had a bunch of stuff for sale and I picked this up there. These sponges are more for finishing work, even polishing. The grits are super fine. You've got ultra fine, micro fine, and super fine in the pack. Perfect for getting that really clean, smooth surface after painting. Next up, technically this one's for my dad since I already have one. But this is also from HobbyMate. It's a universal clamp. Basically, you use it to hold down small parts when you need to paint, scribe, or do any kind of precision work. It's super useful since, well, we've only got two hands. You can even clamp your painted Gunpla on it and then apply decals more comfortably without worrying about smudging or dropping the part. Then again, these are also my dad's. They're wooden planks, basically bases you put your miniatures on to make them look more presentable. Then I got a set of tweezers, also from HobbyMate. It comes with both a straight and a curved one, which is super handy. These are great for handling really tiny or thin parts. Personally, I use them mostly for decals since they make it a lot easier to grab and place them without messing anything up. Next, I picked up a couple of these kotobukiya detail parts. These are actually pretty hard to find back in the Philippines. I don't even know if anyone's selling them locally, so I made sure to grab some while I was at M Workshop. They're pretty straightforward. You use them to add extra details to your Gunpla, kotobukiya, third-party kits, basically anything you want to customize. And then these are the kind of things I always grab whenever I see them. I only picked up a few this time, but they're Tamiya plastic beams from M Workshop. Pretty self-explanatory, they're just styrene rods, tubes, strips, stuff like that. Next up, and I really like this one, I actually went back to M Workshop right before my flight home, just a couple of hours before heading to the airport because I could not leave Singapore without picking this up. It's the eBaseNet display base. I'm a huge fan of Eric Yap or Eric's93. He's an incredibly talented Malaysian builder and honestly one of the nicest people you'll meet. He recently opened his own hobby shop in Malaysia too, which I'd love to visit someday. And this base is super cool because it's basically a ready-made hanger display base for your Gunpla. All you have to do is build it, paint it, and you're done. No need to scratch build from scratch. Definitely something I'll treat as a fun side project one of these days. This one I picked up from HobbyMate. It's just a pack of metal painting trays, nothing too fancy, but super useful. I like having a couple extra on hand, especially now that I've been using lacquer paints more and more. And then I was super happy when I found these. So in the same building as Hobby Point, there's this store called Art Friend. And of course, my dad and I just had to check it out. It's honestly the biggest art shop we've ever seen. Like, if you're an artist, you could literally spend forever in there. They have everything. I picked up a couple of painting supplies for my sister, but then guys, my eyes shined when I saw this one aisle just full of diorama materials. And I mean, when you think diorama, you think woodland scenics, right? They're just the standard. I've been hunting for these rock molds for so long, and I finally found them. These are so useful and so realistic that even if you're not the best painter, like even if you just slap on some gray or brown paint and call it a day, it'll still look decent because the texture and detail are already so good. So of course, I grabbed the two most reusable shapes, probably the easiest ones to work with also. And I haven't used them yet, but I'm definitely excited to try them out. Next, I picked this up from HobbyMate again. It's Muso Black. Muso Black is basically the world's blackest acrylic paint, and the main reason we got it is for painting the sides of bases black, or for things like stands and supports. The cool thing about this paint is that it doesn't reflect light at all. Now we're moving into the paint territory. I ended up grabbing a bunch because, let's be real, if you take me to a hobby shop, you can't expect me to walk out without spending. So this one's really exciting. It's the first time I've ever seen these sold in person. Abtelung 502 dense acrylics. And yes, they actually come in tubes. I picked up about 11 tubes of my most used colors. So these paints are super opaque, they give you maximum coverage, and the finish is a nice matte. Honestly, they feel just like professional artist acrylics, so if you've got a background in fine arts, you'll feel right at home with them. And then since this trip happened right around the time I should have been working on my GBWC entry, most of the paints I was picking up were with that project in mind. Like, I always had my entry at the back of my head, thinking about what I wanted to do with it and what materials or paints I might need. I knew I wanted to add some weathering to it, so I grabbed about 7 bottles of enamel washes from AK Interactive. I picked this up at Hobby Point. The Abdelong paints were from M Workshop, but these enamel washes, they're really great. They work a lot like acrylic washes, but they're more opaque, and the big difference is the working time. You don't have to rush to blend in the edges before they dry, since enamels are slow drying. You can take your time, clean things up after, and just have more control overall. That's why they're really great for weathering compared to acrylic washes. I still do love my acrylic washes, but sometimes you gotta work smarter, not harder. Before I even went on this Singapore trip, I told you guys that I was on the hunt for Gaia Notes paints. I got to try some when Spray Gunner sent me a few bottles, and I really liked how they sprayed, so I wanted to grab more while I was there. And yeah, I did manage to pick up some Gaia Notes, but I also ended up grabbing a couple more lacquer paints from Mr. Color because I was curious about how they sprayed compared to Gaia Notes. On top of that, I bought home a few bottles from E7 paints too. So let's go through those. First, I picked up a bottle of Mr. Color thinner. I actually thought it would be cheaper there, but turns out it's a bit cheaper locally. Not by a lot, so it's fine. And then from E7, I got their Clear Flat, which is basically a matte varnish. E7, by the way, is a Taiwanese paint brand, I believe. They're really good quality lacquer paints. I also got their Primary Silver, which I think is regular silver paint. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm really curious to see how it compares with the metallics I usually use. Next, I picked up the gloss and matte varnishes that almost everyone recommends. I haven't tried them yet, but I'll probably make a video once I do. So we'll see if they really live up to the hype. The reason I bought these was because my original plan for my GBWC entry was a turquoise and orange color scheme. That's also why I picked up some Gaia Notes paints. But then a few days after I got back from my trip, I started doubting myself. And I felt like turquoise and orange might not read as Gunpla to the judges. In the end, I decided to change the color scheme. And then these are mostly E7 paints now. I'm not too familiar with their naming system or their different paint lines. I just really know about E7 because of Leon Koo, who's an amazing Singaporean builder. He uses them a lot, so that's how I know the paint. All I know is how to thin them, and for me, that's good enough. What I can say though is, if you ever get the chance, I'd recommend grabbing a few. They're really good quality paints. I like them a lot. They're super easy to thin, and they spray beautifully. Now finally, the very few kits I bought. Fine Molds kit Fio Mancanza di Sono, which is a little diorama of Fio Piccolo from the Studio Ghibli film Porco Rosso. I got this from M Workshop, and it's not actually mine. I bought it for my sister, who's a fine artist. She did start building it, got through the chest area, but then gave up because it's an older kit and it doesn't exactly go together as smoothly as Gunpla. Next, I got this Meng Models kit of the Dune Spice Harvester from Hobby Made. There's actually a bigger version of it. Because of limited luggage space, I went with the smaller one. I really enjoyed the Dune movies and the series, so when I saw this on the shelf, I knew I had to grab it. I'm also looking forward to painting it up more realistically, giving it that worn, gritty look that matches the Dune aesthetic. Finally, the last one. This one was actually a gift from Brian, the owner of Annie Mecha. It's the border model 1:12 Hell Knight Sil or Sil. I was really intrigued when I first saw it. It just looks so cool. I haven't had the time to build it yet, and realistically, with all the projects I already have lined up, it'll be a while before I get to it. And that's it for this video. It was fun finally getting to share with you all my Singapore haul, plus that first ever HLJ package. I've got some exciting builds planned with these paints and kits, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, links to my partners and affiliate links are down in the description below. It really helps the channel grow at no extra cost to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!